Hello there, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between. Tactical Bacon 00 here, bringing you a quick look at Kerbal Space Program. Kerbal Space Program is a wonderful space shuttle and travel simulator brought to you by Squad. This game is currently in development. This is version 20.2.186. It is the version build as of June 20th, 2013. Please know that everything in this game is not final and is definitely subject to change. That being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the settings menu like always. Settings are fairly good. Particle numbers, stats, Space Center crew, all kinds of things you can toggle. Fully rebindable keys, along with all kinds of different controls. Once again, all fully rebindable. Graphics options are pretty good. Terrain detail, high, you can change all of those. Shaders, all kinds of other stuff. Scatter density, most of the stuff I don't even know what it means. Frame limiting, anti-aliasing. Pixel light count. If you want to tweak this, it will work to your specifications. Audio. Very good audio settings. Each slider is separate. Very good. I really appreciate all of these, that you can fully customize them. And I can turn the music down so I don't get flagged on YouTube for copyright infringement. Load times are fairly good. Alright, let's go ahead and start the game. Walk through a few of the basics. The training. The training is very well done. They walk you through construction basics on how to get a ship that will fly you about halfway into orbit and then come crashing down. I went through that a few times and failed magnificently each time. But nonetheless, it is a wonderful tutorial. Same with flight basics, orbiting, and to the moon, which is one of the goals in this game, is to eventually get to the moon. I'm going to go ahead and continue my save game. This is the ground control, I guess. Space Center. This is the Space Center. Let's call it that. Got the launch pad, flight construction building. This is where you manage all of your flights that are in progress. As you can see, I currently have 3 spaceships, all trapped with astronauts and Kerbals, stuck in orbit. Most of them have no fuel, and I have no possible way of rescuing them. So my goal for the last few hours has been to create a ship that can get into space with enough fuel to be able to rescue some of these guys and bring them back home. So far, I've been unsuccessful, and I've only trapped more people in orbit. I'm going to go ahead and build a ship from scratch. I'm going to fast forward through this in the video. But yeah, it'll show you a few of the basics. But before I do that, I will walk through all of the parts and everything that needs to be done. Alright, for the pods, you have all sorts of different pods that you can use for holding your crew and or payload. Propulsion, you have a very large selection of different fuel tanks and boosters and rockets and everything you could possibly want to propel your ship into the solar system and off of Kerbal. You have your SAS and your RCS. SAS is for controlling your ship and making sure it stays going in the direction that it needs to go. RCS is a little bit more intense in that it likes to really help you, really propel them in the way you want it to go. You have different fuselages on the structural menu. You have decouplers. Those are very important. They jettison dead weight once your fuel and or rockets are exhausted. Aerodynamic, everyone needs wings on their space shuttle, come on. Everyone needs those. Also has nose cones to prevent drag during takeoff. Utility, we got battery packs. Battery packs are required in order to use RCS. And lights. We have mobility enhancers. That's just a ladder you can attach to the side of your ship in case your Kerbals want to go on a little spacewalk. You have wheels. You can customize your ship in just about any way you can imagine. And science, I have not gotten far enough in the game in order to be able to utilize these. Just know that there is a lot of customization. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward now through the construction of my ship, which shall be titled the Tactical Spacecraft Mark III. Alright, we now have the basics of everything we need in order to launch a rocket. We have booster rockets on the bottom, we have a pretty large liquid fuel tank, decouplers, multiple stages, and finally a parachute on top of the pod. Let's go ahead and save this, take it to the launch pad. Alright, looks like we're going for a nighttime launch. I don't think I like that, so I'm gonna go ahead and warp time a little bit. Make it a morning launch. There we go. Pretty good. Rocket's looking good. Make sure staging is set up correctly. We have the launch stabilizers down here. Decouple. No, staging is all wrong. We're going to engage the solid fuel boosters after disengaging. Oh gosh. There we go. After disengaging the takeoff. Alright, after those are exhausted, we will jettison the boosters, activate the liquid fuel, jettison the liquid fuel. Alright, we got the staging set up correctly. Let me go ahead and increase the throttle to about 70%. And turn on SAS to make sure that my rocket goes straight up into the air. Let's go take off. We got Thomtrin, Kerman, Bill Kerman, and Gregden Kerman. Let's go. So far, so good. Rocket seems to be heading straight up with no problems. Burning solid fuel at a pretty decent rate. We're about halfway burned up on those boosters. We are 2,000 meters in the air. I'm going to go ahead and jettison those boosters once they get exhausted. And then we will be good to go into space. And exhausted. Jettison. Go liquid fuel. Accelerate to maximum. Not good. Very not good. We are slowing our acceleration. I think I might have too much weight on my ship. My acceleration is dropping, which is very not good. Not good at all. Wait, it appears to be going. It is stabilized. Acceleration is returning back up. That was very, very close. I was worried for a minute there. Acceleration is increasing now slowly. And SAS is making sure that these tail fins and everything angle me directly into space. Those tail fins will not be as much assistance once we break through the atmosphere. However, they are good enough for initial launch. Alright, we're accelerating at a slightly faster rate now. We're at about 12,000 meters. Let's go ahead and check our map. We have the apoapsis at approximately 15,000 meters. I have read the wiki, and if you buy this game, I highly recommend checking out the wiki. They have many, many tutorials on how to get your spaceship up and running very easily. And it's very, very informative. I would recommend doing that. As you can see, the rocket that I just came up with is not exactly the best design. It is taking off fairly well. However, if I had just a little bit more of a problem down there and I didn't have as many fins, I would be hurtling straight back into Kerbal right now. And these guys are absolutely terrified, except for Gregden. He is doing just fine. Absolutely fine. Alright, we're accelerating much, much faster now. I'm going to go ahead and drop the thrust a little bit. Drop the throttle. Still accelerating. Apoapsis is at approximately 55,000 meters. Once we get to the apoapsis pointing at 70,000 meters, I will begin my gravity turn. I believe that's the term for it. Alright. Gonna go ahead and drop the throttle until just slightly accelerating. And I'm gonna go ahead and drop straight... Uh-oh. SAS is now off. I am now freely piloting this ship. I'm going to go ahead and turn it to be facing due north. Turn on SAS to establish course. Rotate just a little bit so that we are parallel with the horizon. Check the map once again. Apoapsis is growing around the planet. The apoapsis is the highest point in your orbit. Alright, almost out of liquid fuel for the main tank. That's just fine. I have another rocket with its own fuel supply just for this case. And jettison. And activate. Excellent. Check the map once again. Orbit is progressing as promised and expected. Going to drop the throttle just a little bit so that I'm not burning up too much fuel. And we are on our way to establishing orbit. I am by no means an expert in this game. I am very far from it. The closest I've gotten is the tactical spacecraft. That was my original flight. That Kerbal is still trapped in orbit. I must rescue him eventually when I learn enough to be able to help him. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and drop my throttle to 0 and fast forward time until I hit the apoapsis. That way I'll be able to affect my orbit much more efficiently. Once again, turn my throttle back on. And now I can more efficiently manage my orbit. How much fuel do I have? That is not too good. I'm at about 70% fuel on that tank. I don't know if I will be able to make it. I'm going to angle up just a little bit because I think I am on a collision course. So I'm just going to fix that a little bit. Yes, my target is currently on a collision course with Kerbal, and I do not want that. My apoapsis is growing in front of me. That is good. That is what I want. I'm still going further into space. Can I fast forward time? Cannot warp faster than 1x while throttled up. That is good. Would not want to be burning up fuel like crazy. Gonna turn up the throttle just a little bit more, see if I can grow the orbit just a little bit faster for you guys. All you people at home watching, alright, we're getting a little too far from the apoapsis, so I'm going to fast forward time just a little bit once again until we get closer to the apoapsis. And we are close. Once again, I will point in the direction that we are heading and engage the throttle once more. Once I engage SAS, throttle up. The point of getting to the apoapsis before I engage throttle is that it does affect the periapsis, which is the opposite end of the spectrum, to a more extreme degree, therefore offering greater efficiency when burning fuel, which is the ultimate goal. The most efficient route is what you want to shoot for. How much fuel do I have left? Running on about 20% fuel. And periapsis is established at, what's the height? 30, 40, 50,000 meters. We're going to go ahead and stop it there. And we are now in orbit. And I have virtually no fuel left to do anything with. The Kerbals know it. They know it. They're terrified. Except Gregden. He's loving it. He's going to go on a spacewalk. Hey, Gregden. Going on a spacewalk? Let me see. What's his face look like? Oh yeah, he loves it. He is thrilled. Anyways, guys, this is by far not even close to complete. There are so many other places you can go in this universe. You can, if you know your engineering right for rockets, you can fly to the moon, spelled M-U-N. You can fly to Minmus. Other places in the solar system of interest. You got Eve and Gilly. I believe that's a moon. Moho. You got the sun. You have Duna. Drez. I believe that's Jewel. And Elu. That is the solar system. Now, I believe that's as far as you can possibly go in the game as of right now. It's a pretty big solar system. And I'm still stuck orbiting Kerbal. I don't know how to get past orbit, but once I figure it out, I will be very happy, and I will probably try to eventually rescue these Kerbals that have been trapped in orbit. I know this one right here, tactical spacecraft, has been stuck in orbit for about 56 days now. They're not looking too happy. They are just not too happy. This game is absolutely fantastic. I highly recommend it. It is currently $22.99, I believe, on Steam. It is early access, aka beta. So keep that in mind when purchasing. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bacon. Out.